Good evening, folks. So welcome to another episode of What's the Odds on a Wednesday night, Australia time. Hello, Mr. Brent Smith.
Afternoon, all. How's it going?
I see you've got your regular fan club. It's getting pretty busy, these little shows that you do, that we do on the random.
It's a wonderful idea. Hopefully, it gets a few others involved, and we'll see more of this stuff from all those magic snakes that hide in people's collections and no one gets to see.
I think there's a fair bit of transparency that happens on this show, isn't there? I mean, you don't show, but you don't let anybody into your snake rooms, bar a handful.
There's a couple of golden tickets out there that have been, but generally no. And this is what it's good to share some of this stuff with. It's not that I don't want anybody to see anything and it's all a secret. It's security, it's virus, it's quarantine. It's this way people can see what's happening right here, right now. It's a little bit of sharing that doesn't happen enough in the hobby.
Yeah, there's a few people here saying hi. Let me just run through them. Jeremy Findley, g'day, mate.
Jezza! Do your homework, Jezza. Do your homework, buddy. He's got jobs to do.
Oh, yes, haven't we all? We were just talking about how tired we were just before we started. Oh, man, it's been a hard, long year, and this last month is just going to kill us all, I think.
It's tough. I even slept in this morning. That's why I think I feel so tired. I stayed in bed for an extra hour. Not normal.
But you do deserve that. I mean, how many hours do you pack out in a week? You can treat yourself for an hour in a week extra for yourself.
You can. When you know you need it, you just take it, and you don't feel guilty. You know that it had to happen, and you just get it done.
Yeah, let me see what else is here. Riley Seeds.
G'day, Riley. Riley is a share master.
Matt Loveridge, somebody from YouTube. Matt Loveridge. Southern Serpents. G'day, mate. There's a few. Amy Nicole Defty. G'day. Yeah, there's a few guys here. So let's not drag this on. I know why the people are here. We don't want
to go to bed.
We don't want that. We need to go lie down again, get some more precious time to ourselves. So tell me, what are we in for tonight? Please give us the rundown. What are we looking at? What's the possibilities here, mate?
Tonight's the sister to the caramel jag that produced the Magic Chimera the other night. So this girl is just a caramel posshead exanthic from the same clutch. 66.
Just to give us a quick update on the Chimera. You don't have to show us. We'll wait for after the shed. What's the situation? Still going?
Trump for the win. He's still kicking. He's still kicking.
Oh God! You have a few communists all upset if you say that, Namer.
Trump 2020. We know the odds are long, but we're still backing him to get home. He's doing better than I thought. At day one, I was probably a little negative on it. I saw that concave lung structure, and I went, "This thing's got no tissue. It's not going to breed out of the egg." Yeah. And I looked at it again tonight when I got home. That area has developed and flattened out considerably. Yeah. It's actually somehow repairing itself, it seems, as it's sucking in air. So it's like the real Donald. It just won't die.
Against the odds, mate. Like we'll
pull him out later. We'll cut these and then we'll pull him out. I won't disturb him, but we'll shove him under the camera and we can see him in his glory.
Yeah, listen, there's a few more here. Bryce Grills. Suddenly I'm feeling a little bit upbeat now that that we've got the feedback. We know that the guy's still going. He's the top snake for the season so far.
Good. Yeah. Yep. I mean, everyone's probably expecting magic from this little bunch of 6 eggs, and this probably could be the biggest flop of a clutch we've seen all year. You never know.
Yeah, but that is good news. Good news that Trump is doing all right.
Trump's good.
We probably lost half the viewers.
I don't think anyone cares in Australia, but
Trump conversation.
Yeah.
So Bryce,
this is the sister. Sorry, who's on? Bryce, g'day.
Bryce Grills, yeah. Let it grow a beard and it will live forever. There we go. Yeah, and then,
that's the secret. Needs a Ragnar beard.
Yeah. So, okay. So let's get going. So, how many eggs did you say there are?
Not much from this girl. We have what I think is probably 6 eggs, and this thing, which is terrible.
I'd be interested with that one. Let's see what happens. It still looks like it could. I mean, so why we've had you? That feels like there could be something in there.
Quite possible.
Tell me why. So normally you let them pip themselves, but why have you decided to cut? Because you mentioned it before. Why have you decided to pull the trigger and cut these guys?
Generally, I let them run to 60 and cut, or 1 pips and then cut the rest to make sure no egg tooth they can get out. The reason I'm cutting this one, this is day 58, I think. But you have a look at that egg there. Yeah, sunken in and sucked in. That's that animal inside's absorbing as much yolk as it can, and it's getting to the point where it's pinching in the egg, and it's potentially going to cut off circulation and choke that thing out inside the egg. So there's quite a couple, like those couple, that are really ready. They're getting to the point I'm uncomfortable with them still in the egg.
It could also be that the shells are harder, thicker than we've seen these shells on the show where the shells are slightly thicker, and sometimes they just can't cut through those shells. It's just impossible.
No, it's and these ones were a little lower down in the incubator, so I thought they may take a little longer, but you get that tough calcium based shell that won't crack, and then you've got a problem that they're in trouble. So.
I just wanted to. Sorry to interrupt you. Just remember, guys. If you want to share this into the groups, please. It did really pump the show up last time when you guys shared it just into one group that you follow. Just share it in there and see if we can draw a few more people. A lot of people don't know these shows are going on because there's now so many pages on Facebook that it gets very little exposure. The news feeds are so saturated from everybody being at home and for COVID and everybody's got a page now. So we really appreciate that. Brent does this, and I think it's he's being generous with showing what's going on in his collection. So thanks, Brent, and back to you. Let's cut that sucker.
Let's chop. So we're hoping, being a posshead exanthic, we really want to see some exanthics. The pairing is a ghost jag to caramel, which is possible super caramel, posshead exanthic. So. We want to see exanthic jags, ghost jags,
and chimeras. now that you've made one, We won't. You need to make 2 now, and then 3.
Yeah, I don't know. That's the odds. The odds of 1. That was a miracle in itself. So
Let's see what goes. Let's see what happens. Let's see.
looks dark to me, but let's see.
It'd be good if you hit the odds again. Oh,
It's a caramel.
yeah. Oh, that's good. That's well.
Just
You expected that.
Yep.
That is not a guess that would be in there.
Yep. Well, I suppose it's caramel to caramel. So
Yeah.
we'll see some caramels. We'll see some wild types if it's just a normal caramel.
Yeah.
If the mum proves out to be a super caramel, we'll see no wild types. We'll see only caramels. There'll be super caramels and caramels. But saying that, we only do have 6 eggs, so you can't get too excited about one clutch prove outs.
Yeah. What? How do those eggs,
numbers?
those shells feel slightly thicker than last time, or is it
Definitely? Yeah, tough, very tough. Certainly on those ends where you get those little window sections in them. They get very tough around the edges of that. It's like it forms, a hard shield.
Yeah.
So that's a little caramel jag.
Okay, so good. That's still within.
Yep, in the super range.
Oh, he's ready. He's head poking out. He's ready to go. That guy.
You look how dry that is inside that egg. He has fully absorbed, and like you'll be out in a flash,
And you can look at the fact that there's no real veins on the side of the eggs. That's usually a good sign as well that it's starting to, the veins start to die off on the eggshell because it's not really using diffusion across the egg membrane, or the eggshell.
Yeah, exactly. He's more than ready. He'll be out before probably the end of the show. I reckon he's going to pop right out here on the table. So
yeah.
No exanthics yet, though. We're still chasing the ghost action.
There's a few. Chris Fry, don't worry. We will forgive you. You're not late. You can always watch this afterwards. Yeah. See, that's already just from a couple of shares. The numbers have bumped up by 10 viewers. So that's not bad. A little bit of sharing helps. And if they don't want to watch, then they can watch later.
Yep. Another little caramel. So 3 from 3 on the caramels. Just a normal looking caramel. Nice caramel.
But you know what? In a clutch like this, it could be that if it's small like that, it still doesn't mean if you don't get the xanthic, it still doesn't mean that it's not proven.
Definitely not.
It needs to be bigger.
Yes.
For you to have a more accurate assessment of. But 9, that's 8, 9 eggs. It should have 1 of something.
Yep. Well, there's 6 of good eggs and 1 suspect one, but there also was 8 slugs. So that 8 slugs could well be carrying your bunch of visual stuff. So you can't base too much. I mean, you see a xanthic or a ghost, you laugh and it's proven. But if you don't see one, you can't always write it off as it's a definite no. So
yeah,
this is.
Tell me, and this was a first time mum, yeah?
First timer, yes, 2.5 years old.
Well, that could also explain the state of the eggs. The fact that the eggs are the shells are a little bit firmer than they should be at this stage.
Yep.
That's a
caramel jag.
That's nice and red on the sides. Was that
very nice? Yeah, that's
very bright.
If you had to start guessing supers, which you do guess supers, can't call that out of the egg, but that is very, very light looking.
Very light. Yeah, that's nice. Sorry, I enlarged the screen because I just realized we can actually do that around here, so you can have a good proper look at the egg. That's nice. That's a nice little baby. Yeah.
But caramel, all caramel. So looking good on the caramel front, anyway. Caramel. Yeah.
Hello, Heath. Yes, welcome to the show. Oh yeah, Eddie Darnell just noticed you said there. Are you going to make the screen bigger or what? Yeah, sorry, mate. I just realized.
Tell us, Eddie, what you're thinking, mate. If you need to see it, just yell it out.
You can actually see how hard that is to cut that egg.
It's tough skin. It's like they're extra calciumed up.
What have we got here? Another jag.
Caramel jag.
Very nice white back. Yeah.
Looking like nice wide dorsal stripe jag. But,
so
yes, very caramel.
So just for those of you that are interested in to find Brent, you could find him. Let me just see. I've got some captions here. To find Brent, you just go at you're probably watching the show from KHP Reptiles. So just at KHP Reptiles, I know some of these babies will probably be available to purchase. We're not going to sell anything on this page because we don't want our pages pulled from the internet. But get in touch with Brent. He's always got something hidden away in his drawers, his snake drawers in the racks over there. So
there's occasionally a snake lurking. No one sells snakes on Facebook, do they?
No, nobody sells any reptiles on Facebook. Here we go. Something. When they are maternally incubated, they go very. Somebody, Amy Nicole Defty says, when they are maternally incubated, they go. Is she not the one that has some of the albino bredli? Amy Nicole Defty,
don't think so.
Okay, when they are maternally incubated, they go very hard and deflated, decrepit looking, maybe just further along in development from some of the other eggs to have time to absorb it more. I don't know. Maybe calcified more as they age. I don't know. Ray Toms asks, what day are these at, Brent?
58 days this lot, so just the state of them, I thought it was time.
So they're nice and red. They definitely pretty. They'll be pretty snakes. That's also
caramel. Yep. Caramel as well. So we're not looking like we're going to prove the head xanthic out, but super caramel certainly looking possible with everything being caramel so far.
Yeah.
How many eggs to go still? Can't rule it out. Sorry?
Can't be too many eggs to go still.
2. Well, one in the. Let's do the Menke one. Whether this has actually got any life in it.
But let's show the egg. So it's on It's on the full screen. Just show how filthy that egg looks, and I'd be very. It looks like it could be a little one in there. But let's see. So a lot of people throw the eggs out, and a lot of people think that there's no hope for this. So hopefully there's something alive in there. Let's have a look.
Well, I put these sort of, I'll separate them away from the clump in the incubator, and
that looks like there's squid in there still. So I don't know. Let's see.
If they go moldy, they go moldy. If not, they go in the bin. Oh, yeah, it's good, healthy one.
Yeah?
Yep, caramel. Caramel jag by the look of it.
Can you believe there's a little head right there? Amazing.
Vein system.
A filthy egg like that.
Yeah.
It's a slightly smaller though,
Yep, it certainly seemed to be compacted down to that good end of the egg. But yeah, good, strong, healthy animal, head straight up. So yeah, little caramel jag, probably be a little bit smaller than the rest of the clutch mates, but they all.
It's got a nice. Looks like it had a nice round belly when it curled around in there. So yeah, that'd be interesting. Yep. Very nice, very nice. Amazing.
Nice reduced head pattern,
just look how shitty that egg was. That's all
right. Yeah, that's. I mean, I will throw eggs out that I know are just putrid, but I'll leave a lot of them in. You'll see some clutches we'll cut the next few days, when they're ready, that have just got some putrid stuff sitting in the middle, which I don't bother pulling out. It's very rare that an egg like that will contaminate another.
Unless it's really smelly, that's the only time when I actually separated eggs were when they went all green and stinky. I think that type of fungus kills other eggs around it. If it's that sort of fungus that forms and it's dark green and it's sort of just the egg just sort of crumple away in the mass, without it smelling, and so then that's that looks. Oh no, that's caramel as well.
Caramel jag, nice and light. I was again guessing super caramel looking, but yeah, we're certainly looking okay for the super caramel side of it. Everything looking caramel, so.
Yeah. So no luck tonight with. I would probably say that it's pretty. Like not. What's it? 8, 9 eggs? You said? Yeah. So
that's 7 eggs there. 7 out and all caramels. No xanthic. So I'd say that. We're not looking like getting the head side of it up, but that happens. That's pos heads. It's 66%. You just got to pick the winners.
Darren Boswell. Hello.
G'day, Dazza.
There we go. G'day, mate.
And this is sometimes, when we talk about the miracle genius we had in that last clutch, This is the one, you know, we discussed, the equalizer. You know, it's where you don't get the numbers, things don't prove, things prove, but in terrible numbers, you know, and over time they always seem to balance out. So sometimes it can happen as quickly as that, you know, one clutch to the next. Sometimes you might get 3 good ones and then 5 bad ones, you know. It's the odds will sort themselves out in time.
These are sort of the stocking stuffers that you have for Christmas. These little caramels and stuff. That's the stuff that people. Yeah. That's just. I would say that's like the perfect starter mutation for somebody that's sort of just getting into it. You know.
Yeah, great basic little morph and visually very nice. I quite like the little basic caramels, and your caramel jags are always very popular. They're a great little thing. Sunglow jags, sunglow zebras. They're a simple morph, but effective in making something that's quite visually different to a wild type. So not a bad result of nice caramels.
Yeah. Somebody wants to see an albino bredli. Have you got any albino bredli?
Not in this room, no. They all got promoted to the big girls' room.
They usually about 2 meters by 12 months at Brent's house. So they don't fit into those little drawers. That's right. Somebody just asked, you are expecting me, you are cutting, you did get a clutch from a albino bredli this year?
We're looking like nothing's laid from the Bredli bunch yet. There's the original Bredli head albino girl. Looks like I'm very confident she's done to a albino Bredli boy. Visual to the head this time, so we should see better numbers of visuals than what's left, all being, you know, proper head albinos, not poss heads. And looks like the little fella's got. I used 2 boys together. It looks like there was another 75% Bredli jag, like hypo and caramel in the same, you know, a hypo Bredli and caramel jag in the mother, that looks very, very good as well. So we're also trying to get the albino Bredli boy to a wild type to make some 75% hets, but she laid the most spectacular bunch of slugs I've ever seen. So plentiful numbers of slugs. When you open a tub and see 30 odd slugs rolling around, it's a lot of wasted energy for the poor girl.
Yeah, but Bredli are notorious. I've got photos of full clutches of slugs as well, and they give you all the signs that there's big things coming, and then they surprise you with a bunch of rubbish. So that happens.
She's a huge girl too, so you know it's hard to pick it with them. And when they look like she had stuff in her, because there was, you know, 35 slugs, so there's a fair bit there that sizes them up. But terrible result.
So we've only gone for like 18 minutes. So if anybody wants to ask a question of Brent, go ahead, as long as it's civil and it's decent. You know, if anybody needs to know something, this is a perfect time to quickly get a question in if you need to. Otherwise,
if you hear some of the questions I answer all day, there's nothing here that will scare me. So it's normal.
Darren says at least you've got laces now that you can get rid of all the rubbish, all the slugs and all that type of stuff that's random and dies and stuff. You know, nothing goes to waste with lace monitors around.
No, they are the garbage cans of the world. Certainly, they're fantastic for. I love the fact I'll go through, like I started feeding all the new hatchies from this year, and a lot of them I'll simply give them a little sniff of a pinky rat, leave it in the tub, come back in the morning and check it, and 10 or 15 out of the first 20 or something I tried all took food the first night, but the 10 leftovers, you just bundle them up straight out to the hatchies, to the laces the next morning, and poke them through the fence, and they clean them up through the day. So it's good that there's just no food wastage.
You're getting a lot of questions here. 2 snakes. The people are saying, "Oh, can you please show? Can you please? I'll show you. Can you please show some of your snakes near you?" So we'll do you 2 snakes.
2 snakes?
Just show 2 snakes. We can't just show everything in one head. So if there's anything there that's anything that you might be thinking of moving on, that's perfect time now, Brent.
Well, let's go for something like a caramel. What we've got here, basically caramel jag.
A bigger version of what you hatched. Yes.
Okay. Exactly. Yep. So this is what they will look like as they get to age, and this is from that same line, caramel jag. This one I think is a poss head exanthic itself. So this is the sort of what they will look like given 12 months, 18 months time.
Very nice. That camera is pretty good of yours as well.
Samsung, mate. Samsung quality, eh?
That's okay. There you go.
Yeah, just move that out of the way.
So that's a bigger version of whatever. You don't have any just straight caramels, do you? Like normal hatchlings from last season.
Probably. Oh, yeah, there would be one with a few extra genes in, but.
I just wanted to answer here. Chris Crawford, you have to start after the show finishes. You can watch the show from the start. We do address that in earlier on in the show. So it's a long explanation. I wouldn't really want to cover it again. So just watch the show again. So hang on. Okay, so what's this? Is that a caramel?
So that's a caramel. That's a cracking caramel, but that's with the added feature of double head granite albino caramel.
Bloody hell!
The camera's keeping up with the screen.
From what was that? Did that come from the Hustler line? Is that?
That's Hustler line. That was
to what?
What made these?
Was that from head to head?
No, this is from.
Oh my!
Sunglow had to be from the granite male.
Yeah.
To a Sunglow female.
Okay. So you put that. So that is a snake from an outcross, yeah.
Yeah. So basically, they're double head granite albino, but I just needed to get some legit caramel into it.
Yeah, because I was reading and trying to listen, and I must have missed that part of the discussion where you said.
There's so much variation in the caramel. I mean, that's from the same clutch, and see much dirtier. Not as bright, not as clean. So
this, when was this from? Was this from last season?
Last year, yeah.
Ah, okay.
Holdbacks. So these ones see plenty of food.
So these are caramel head granite albino, yeah?
Yep, caramel double heads.
Those things are going to be outstanding in the visual form.
In the visuals, yes, absolutely.
Hopefully, I'm there to see them. That's nice. Okay, let me just see.
This is from Holdback as well, having a nice swim, making a giant mess for Cherie.
Yeah, if people are interested in asking questions about things to buy, send Brent a message. Hang on. Send Brent a message because we're not going to talk about sales here because there's certain rules on Facebook against that. So sorry if we don't answer those things, but just message Brent. He's always keen for a chat if you're interested and you're serious, if you're seriously interested in getting an outstanding animal. So that's pretty nice as well. Oh.
Yep, nice little granite.
Okay, no more. That was enough. That was the people they fix. Yeah, I want to spoil them.
That's enough out of the holdback rack. What about Trumpy?
Oh yeah, just a quick. Don't stress him too much. He's got a long road to travel.
He's still got a lot of campaigning to do. He's got plenty of work on. He's in his own private little setup.
Oh yes, because he's worth it. He's
yes.
So he's got the traditional neuro that comes with the Chimera. So there's a certain price to pay. So don't annoy him too much. Just lift the lid and we'll.
Yep, this guy got his own little hide and he's in his own little setup.
Oh wow. Yes, he's doing all right. He's doing all right. I clean that. Yeah, that paper needs a clean. That's just me.
Little bit of poop out. Yeah, that's fresh from today. He'll get a fresh set of sheets for tonight. But yep, he's in there. He's going strong, and surprisingly, he's quite thick in the body. Like he did a reasonable job of filling himself up before exiting the egg. So
tell me, you haven't said. Has he got a pink tongue?
Yeah, it looks like a pinkish tongue from what I've seen. It's flicked out quite a few times. So far he's not, it's not dancing full extension yet. Quite a short little flick on it, but definitely a flick in it. So if we try and
don't annoy him, that's fine. We don't want us. We need to little gloves, but he moves fine. Man, that's an outstanding snake. So okay, so let me. You can put him. You can put him away. You can put him away. Beautiful. He's got his own little hide and everything. That's not like you. He normally
he's getting
the branch, the green grate to climb on, and that's it.
Yep, he's getting presidential preference. This guy is. got his own little setup, just trying to keep him as stress-free as possible, and a little hide there that shields him. I put the opening at the back so he can be in there and away. And funny enough, he's half smart. I gave it a spray this morning. He was outside of the hide, a little spray around the tub, keep the humidity, and he backed himself straight back into the hide. So he's got half a clue, which is a good sign early.
Yeah, but I think the win factor there is the fact that his head is normal. He's pattern. Yes. If he had albino eyes, or if he wouldn't have albino eyes, if he's oh no, he could have had normal. No, there wouldn't be albino eyes if he had. If he had the no, he wouldn't. He's got
very dark eyes, which almost leucistic. The leucistics have black eyes, and his eyes are verging, almost on black, which worried me a lot. That's something you don't want up that top end. Is that super jag, the leucistics.
I would have sounded like an absolute idiot then. I don't know why I had that idea of, because I was thinking leucistic, and because they're white, the eyes.
Probably because we discussed, we were talking about when I had off air, we were talking about the supers I had last year, the leucistic stuff that I had albino leucistic. So, I had stuff last year that died, leucistic, that had the red eyes, which is different, but certainly just a beautiful snake. If we could find a way, it's funny, a lot of people have reached out, and different people I've talked to, and the ideas are out there. People have got theories to try and fix this, and I guess the more people talk about it, and find ways to try and improve the system or beat the problems, the better it is. Maybe one day some of this work will get these things alive and into the hobby.
So what's let's keep this here. So we're on 30 minutes now. So 3 minutes. So what's next? What's next to cut? What's sort of on the agenda next? When are you expecting the next class? Just so we give people a rough idea of what's going on.
What's coming? Amy asked, any kinking? Certainly not. I think kinking's more the trait I see in super zebras, even in normal zebra clutches. But that fella, coming, there's certainly no issues coming from the xanthic ghost side of things. So, the jag side of it is obviously going to have some neuro. Super jag's going to have super neuro. But, certainly not any kinking, which is a great sign. Coming up next, one of the original girls from you, Mr. Hustler, the double head girl.
Oh, but that's albino. That's going to be. And what did you put over that female? Just albino granite?
Oh, I don't know.
Or was it? I think you had a granite over that. I think you put a granite jag over that. I think you sent me a photo of a granite jag over that female.
It'd either be the granite jag, the straight granite, or the albino granite. I can't remember.
Right. Well,
it could well be. It would be a surprise when it comes.
So something to look forward to, all of you KHP Reptiles fans.
15 eggs and 5 slugs, which the size of that girl now. That's not a big clutch for her, so it may well have been that little granite jag first time breeder, or the albino granite. Looking at the size, she's pumped 25 for the last 3 seasons, so that's not big for her. There's a lot of granite action actually coming up. A little stimmy clash, nothing exciting. Then we go to a POS double head girl, just a jag, possible double head granite albino.
So around what date is that double head female going? So just so we give people a rough idea.
Due on the 14th. The one after that due on the 17th. Mind you, most of these go, I'd say, a couple of days early.
Yeah.
Granite Mac one's out, and then another POS head on the 24th, and also the 24th, that Super Zebra. That one, that's probably the next visually stunning clutch I'm looking forward to. Is that Super Zebra POS head albino to Sunglow Zebra Jag. That one would be some mind-blowing stuff in there.
There's somebody asked just how the little spotted the granite spotters they pretty fresh, straightforward. Or she's just asking how those babies going, but I'm pretty sure they've straightforward hatchling.
Absolutely bulletproof. That's funny enough, a morph no one really talks about. Hassle-free as they don't have issues, they don't die, they hatch, they feed. They're quite a strong little line. Mind you, I just spilled water everywhere inside their tub.
Oh yeah, all under the paper, of course.
But yeah, silver, they're all looking.
And they go grey like that, so there's nothing wrong with them. The granites go really grey, white coloured. They're almost
Yep.
ghost-like before they shed. The granite carpets also do that.
Yep, really blue. That
Really.
that exploded pattern just it makes that blue pop, and you can almost see very much how different the wild types are then to the granite.
Yeah.
Just in the way that they get ready for that first shed. So most of this lot, I reckon, 3 days they'll be into new skin and then into the racks from here. So
Yeah.
they're a hassle-free little one. They're a nice
Definitely a
little
favorite.
animal.
The granite Mac, definitely a favourite of mine. Definitely, went through a lot of effort to get those into the Australian hobby.
You know,
If it wasn't
thank
for
you for
me,
your service.
if it
Thank you
wasn't
for your
for me,
service.
not to be boastful, not to be arrogant, but if it wasn't for me, they wouldn't be here. So
Last
we won't
sneak
go,
peek.
we won't go into that, but let's just leave it there. What are you doing
It's
here
a,
now? What have you got now?
it's the only tip. Don't use FedEx. Is that your final statement on that?
Hey, I was never caught
Yeah.
in them. Oh, here we go. Hold on. This is
That's
what.
the rest of the clutch from from the
Oh,
sister of tonight. Just the caramel
that is
jag.
just outstanding. That grey one. Oof, that light. Oof, there's some nice ones in there.
Yeah, there's some beautiful.
Even that standard jag on top, one with the really dark. There's really nice looking stuff.
Caramel
That
jag.
one
Yep.
really nice. It's got a real dark and then real light contrast. Very nice.
Yep. Very nice, and then some super stuff like that. To me,
Yeah.
that looks
Oh,
like super
that's
ghost jag. You
the
know,
best. And the
just
jag,
sitting.
the Axanthic underneath. Axanthic
Yep.
jag underneath.
Exantic.
I,
There's quite
I could
a bit of a mixed bunch.
easily keep a few of those, but I'm not allowed to. So for now.
But
So
now you're still on the naughty list.
yeah, no, I'll get that right. So Granite Max or Granite Children's, Granite Max. These are Granite Max. The parents display, Amy, the neuro thing is totally overblown in Jags. We like I said on the last show, Brent and I have made literally hundreds of Jags over the years, and I have yet I in all the hundreds that I made, I think I saw 2 or 3 that I had to put down at
Yep.
birth, and the rest
Same.
were you wouldn't notice it if you were new to snakes. You wouldn't know that. So the Nero thing is totally overblown. Maybe the American lines are more prone to showing heavy examples of Nero, but they also don't have the genetic diversity that we have in Australia.
Yep.
We work with different lines and bloodlines and things over in Australia. So I really do think it's inbreeding is as much as fault as with inbreeding, the Nero gets worse, over many generations like they would have in the US. So,
Yep.
and if people feel offended by that in America, by me saying that, that's just the truth. That's your gene pool is so much more limited than what we have in Australia.
Sadly, I mean, I don't think any amount of outcrossing is ever going to fix the neuro in Jags. Like people say, can't you breed that out? It's whatever is linked to that reduced pattern is causing the problems that cause the neuro. So it's part and parcel of the gene.
Somebody, Aaron Carney, I hope I didn't butcher your surname. He says, can I ask what the reasoning is behind keeping the hatchlings together before their first shed? I'll let you go for it, mate.
Ease of my life. Basically, I try to get them set up into individual tubs quite quickly, but out of the egg, I'll leave them like this lot will go back into that incubation tub until they're all out, and I'll stay in that I generally won't leave them more than a week. So pretty much they'll go into their own tubs as soon as they start to shed. So I like them, once I find they've shed, then they're going to start looking for food within the next few days. So it's much easier to have that clump of 17 snakes, and I can each day pull out that paper towel, give them a spray, keep the humidity up, put the lid back on, straight back in the incubator. They sit at constant 31. Once I put them into the racks, some will have shed, some won't. And you'll see this beautiful specimen here. This is my little friend, Mr. Spray Bottle, who's linked up to this there. And that is the alternative, is start pumping this thing profusely for 5 minutes and then get on the sprayer and run through all of those racks. And when you're talking a couple of hundred animals, you're pretty much constantly spraying, those tubs to keep them high humidity until they have that first shed. After they shed, they're on to your butcher's paper for me, and that's where they stay. So
I look, and I've also, I think it's a different like I've seen people with antaresia. Some of them decide to eat each other, but
absolutely,
I've never seen it with carpets. But I do think that the risk increases after shedding. After that first shed, when they've absorbed the yolk and it's ready to go, and they can start eating things. I think that's when you run into the risk of them chowing each other. But with carpets, I
absolutely.
don't even. I've never felt like a carpet python would eat another carpet python.
No, I've never seen it.
Never seen it.
I remember a long time ago someone posting it happened. I can't remember if it was a carpet. Might have been blackheads. It wouldn't surprise me being snake eaters if one of those ate one of their mates, But
yeah.
yeah, antaresia, absolutely. I've had it happen. My own antaresia, you get one shed and started eating its mate straight away. They're savage little things.
And unfortunately, when they eat a clutch mate that's the same size, there's very seldom they don't survive that. So
double death.
They die. It's no surviving that.
They certainly can't consume that as a first meal. So yeah, it's one in's dead, then one out's dead a day later.
Yeah. So people are still talking about the Jag stuff, and they're saying that 5 years ago it was bad. I really never felt that the Jaguar mutation was any issue. Even 5 years, and I've been involved with the Jags since the day they arrived here. Not since the day they arrived here, a little bit later, but I was there early days when everybody was making Jags, and I literally never had any issues with neuro with Jags. Or significant issues, never. There's certain things that you don't do with Jags, or that you would, you don't handle them and you play with them and you put them outside and let the dog bark at them and stuff in direct sunlight. I mean, they just, you wouldn't put like I see people put albinos outside in direct sunlight and they carry on with photos and stuff. What people don't realize, they don't have any pigment to deflect. They can't protect their eyes against the sun like a normal snake would. Not that they use their eyes from, not that their eyes are vital to their existence, but there's certain things, that certain mutations you have to be careful. Certain mutations you just don't do certain things with. The same goes for Jags. So sorry, that's my preachy moment. I apologize.
Well, you're 100% right. And people often say to me wanting to buy their first animal, oh, I love the look of the Jags. They're really not great. Your first animal probably shouldn't be a Jag. It's something that you want to enjoy, you want to handle. The Jags really shouldn't be put through the same life, as sometimes what a wild type, can be. And there's plenty of other morphs out there which are bulletproof that handle it. So,
Just one last question. Anthony O'Daniel has been very active. G'day, mate. If you're new to the show, pop in next time. We do these quite often. Diamonds on an enclosure is butcher's papers. We believe fully in butcher's paper, don't we?
It's the cleanest because you have to clean it. Like all of these, everything of mine is cleaned every week by my awesome wife. So if they poo on the paper, it gets spilled, it's an easy clean. You roll it up, throw it in the bin, wipe the tub out, and go again. With substrate, you can be a little more lazy. You can leave that longer, spot clean it, and maybe every 3 months empty the whole lot and replace with substrate. Certainly in some of the closures, we have things on Gypsy and Critter Crumble and a few other things that can make life easier with bigger numbers. But I'm a bit of a neat freak, clean freak, and you cannot keep an enclosure with substrate in it immaculate. They make mess in there. You got to scrape that section out, F10 it, scrub it, and I'm just never 100% comfortable that they are perfect. Where I know these tubs are perfect, at least for a few days of the week until they'll make a mess again. But they're never more than a day or two from that clean either. So, it's hygienic wise.
To add on that, though, with stomach issues and disease and stuff like that, there's nothing like white paper in a tub to expose any issues.
Exactly.
So even in mating season, on white butcher's paper, you can see what almost looks like blood streaks. That's the females that's scenting their cages. That's showing that they're ready to mate. So there's a lot of stuff that you can read off butcher's paper that you can't do off newspaper or any other substrate. The same goes for mites. I mean, there's nothing that sticks out like it sticks out like dog's balls. You know, like
shows up
on a piece of white paper is like what you see it straight away. You know, so that's why you don't let people go into your collection. But I remember years back letting somebody into my collection, and it ended up being I spotted a mite, a lone mite in the collection, and because I noticed it straight up, I could treat it before it turned into absolute chaos.
Yeah.
You know? So not
same with like I've had an animal with fatty liver. You know, you get that green streak of excrement, and you know straight away that shows up on paper instantly. You know, it's a true sign. You can pick up problems pretty quick. So.
Yeah. Look, there's a few questions. Okay, so last question, absolute last question. No more questions after this.
Bedtime.
So how do you clean when they are in shed? What do you do when they shed? It's the same. It's the
Nothing
same
different.
normal,
Yeah. They're in shed, whatever they get. I use a holding tub. This tub's where the animal will go into while the tub gets cleaned and back out of that, back into their tub. So Sheree likes to hang them. There's a little branch up the top there. She'll chuck them up.
It's also when they're coming up to a shed, though, they seem to have they defecate along with having a shed. So sometimes it's better to just hold off a clean up to the point after they've had a shed and a shit, and then you clean it after. Especially
you quite often get
double-edged sword, you know?
Yeah, quite often. Like I have the mesh in there as well, which will help. At that same time, you'll see the shed actually gets caught up on the mesh. You know, so you'll get. You get that drag off that, and it's easy then, you know, very easy to take that whole mesh out. You know, you can pick that whole lot up out and throw that aside, clean the tub, and then.
Is that a fresh baby? That's a new baby, isn't it?
That's a freshie and just shed, and see that striking at its own shed. So certainly ready for some food. So.
Luckily, Jags are great like that when it comes to feeding. That will eat tonight already. Easy.
Awesome feeder. I think it may have eaten on the weekend already, quite possibly. So, but Jags, I've had Jags eat before their first shed. Some of them just look like they are primed and ready, and you put something in front of them and bang, they'll eat and then shed 2 days later. So there are no issues with feeding with the Jag gene.
Yeah. So tell people where they can get a hold of you, Brent, please.
KHP Reptiles, Facebook. You can get me on Brent Smith on Messenger, either or. I do get a lot of messages. Message me, happy to help people out. I get people asking questions every day. Happy to help. Just be patient. When I'm at work, I am flat out sometimes. So if I don't get back to you in hours, I won't be far away. It's never a day I'm not online. So
yeah. Of course,
I'll be around.
Always connected now until you go to bed. You have to sometimes just put the phone down and not look at it.
You got to deal with it. I find if you let them pile up, I sent you that screenshot the other day. It was like you got to move. You got to move through this stuff. You got to deal with it. Get to the other side. Otherwise, you can come home and spend 3 hours. Flat out on the keyboard. So get them done.
I don't envy you at all with all the. It's so nice to just be an outside.
You've been there. You know what it's like. So.
Yeah. Okay, so thanks, folks, for everybody, all the usuals and all the new folks. Remember to share remember to tell your mates. We really want to promote this as a place to ask questions, and feel free to not be shot down. There's too many places on the internet where you can get shot down, and we just appreciate the time. Thanks for spending the last half an hour with us, and we'll see you guys next time. Keep an eye on the site, because we'll definitely announce it the day before. So Brent usually just messages me and says, "Look, they're coming.
It's time. It's go time."
I'll post it. But it's from now on in. It should be quite a few shows regularly during the week until the end of breeding season. So, but thanks a lot, guys. We really appreciate it, and have a good week, and look after yourself. All right. Thank you. Good night.
Go Trump.